Under his leadership, the Korean People's Revolutionary Army fought bravely against Japanese imperialism. At last, Japan surrendered on August 15, 1945. The Korean people enthusiastically welcomed President Kim Il-sung, who liberated the country. This is a memorial mural portraying him on that day. The Korean people erected the Arch of Triumph to immortalize the exploits of the president who triumphantly returned to Pyongyang after liberation. Nobody predicted bisection of Korea, but President Kim Il-sung analyzed the prevailing situation with his clairvoyant wisdom and paid prime attention to military affairs. On September 8, 1945, the United States occupied half of Korea. Faced with the crisis of national division, President Kim Il-sung dispatched his officials seasoned in the fight against Japanese imperialism to strengthen the army. He laid firm foundations of an independent defense industry and test-fired a machine gun manufactured by the Korean working class for the first time. He built up the three services ideologically and technically. The military parade on February the 8th, 1948 was a significant event that powerfully demonstrated the might of the Korean People's Army. As the army grew stronger, the people felt worthwhile in their life. The land was distributed to peasants to meet their lifelong desire. Blast furnaces broken down by the Japanese imperialists while running away were restored. The children attended the schools built by the state. With patriotic mind, the workers repaired engines. The illiterates learned how to write and read at schools for adults. The ordinary people took part in elections of deputies to power organs. On September the 9th, 1948, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea was founded. The United States, which occupied South Korea under the cloak of liberator, expedited aggressive war preparations from the first day. On June the 25th, 1950, the United States triggered off a war in Korea. President Kim Il-sung, in his radio address, ordered the People's Army to immediately go over to counterattack. The Korean People's Army launched counterattack and liberated Seoul 3 days after the war broke out. The South Korean people enthusiastically welcomed the People's Army. Remembering the days, war veterans say,
해반 전쟁에서 승리할 수 있은 것은 위대한 수령님의 총대 중시 사상의 빛나는 결실이라고 생각합니다.
옳습니다. 우리 인민군대가 전쟁 개시 3일 만에 놈들의 아성인 서울을 해방하고
After liberating Seoul, the Korean People's Army completely encircled Daejeon and annihilated the U.S. 24th Infantry Division, which had been advertised as an invincible division.
완전히 포위소멸하고 우리 인민군대가 한 달 반 사이에
1 month and a half after the start of war, almost all parts of South Korea were liberated. It was a victory of the leadership of President Kim Il-sung, who built the regular armed forces before anything else after liberation.
위대한 수령님의 선군 영도에 빛나는 승리라고 생각합니다.
In the 3-year-long war, the Korean People's Army dealt a crushing blow to the U.S. imperialist aggressors. The progressive people of the world warmly congratulated the Korean People's Army on its victory. On July the 27th, 1953, Korea defeated the U.S. imperialists, who had been proud of being the strongest in the world, and won the war. Although the country was reduced to the debris, the Korean people turned out in the post-war reconstruction with a spirit with which they had fought the US imperialists. The US imperialists prattled that Korea would not be able to get back to her feet in 100 years. But Korea built numerous structures with self-confidence. "Do you ride Tulima?" The question was kindly exchanged among the Korean people who were working miracles in socialist construction. Tulima is a winged horse in a Korean legend. Self-reliance is a characteristic of the Korean working class. Korea calls the source of the successes achieved in a short span of time after the war the spirit of Tulima. The spirit of Tulima was displayed among the peasants too. They filled up the craters made by American bombs and tilled the land. They reaped bumper crops there. The welfare of the people was guaranteed by the self-reliant defense power.